Hey, it is working. Okay, so today we'll be animating Thuppel walking. I'll just get to it right now. Let's see. Just make the window slightly smaller. Last day we had, what did we do? Running. So now that running is done, walking is basically uh, when you're walking slowly, this animation will play. When you're moving at a faster speed, the run animation will play. So, as is customary, since the ratio has changed, since the proportion has changed, that will have to be taken into consideration. Let's see if just fixing it up might work for add on line. I'll just duplicate it and I'll add. I'll remove everything else in that. Everything else is in everything other than work cycle. Lot of stuff. Remove everything and let's see. We have this work cycle. We can take it, add a transform mask, transform mask, and see. Let's see a more stable-ish area. I think this one or this one. I think this one is easier to compare. Because this is the frame that comes right after the idle pose when the walk is starting. So I'll take this and I'll scale it accordingly to see how it fits along with the scaling that has been done there. So accordingly it would have to be something like this, even more. Much. Uh, some healthy size should be there. Because volume is reducing from here, but it's getting added up over here. Uh, this is a healthy enough change. Let's see across the animation. This one looks way too much. This one looks fine. Oh, I think I had to squash it also a bit. I'll just take it and I'll squash it from the center. Over here, since it's affecting the other frames also. Let's see. This much. Yeah, something like this. And let's see. Yeah, okay, this is anyway way too much. Then this thing looks more or less fine. I think we'll have to refine it a bit. This one looks cool, more or less. And still looks a bit too big. I think it is a bit too big. Is it a mm, little bit more? Yeah. I'm just comparing with a done frame and this thing, whether it looks too off in scale. This one might. This one, this one. It does look, but I guess it might work along with the other frames. That might have been the reason I had done it back then. We'll get straight away into cleanup. I'll just say it because there is transform mask and all those things scheduled, so it might hang a bit. We have brush, full black, 40 pixels. The first frame is always the hardest to draw because we haven't gotten used to a particular type warm up, basically. Warm up to start drawing this. It was 40, right? Line thickness 40. No harm in making sure. The eyeballs, I think, got a bit too tiny. I could enlarge it a bit. So that the volume hasn't changed way too much. The iris pupil shape also has changed from a more cat sort of vertical slit to a more circular shape. It's not bad. It is what there's the other eyeball. It's looking there to see its destination that it's going to jump into. Will make it face there even more prominently. The body is just as usual. Some thickness over here. Last time we had curved the bottom a bit more. I'll do that. And lower chin whatever, and bring out this for a more fish feel. The screw has gone upwards. And the first drawing is. Yeah, we are halfway there now. No, we are not. Now I have. I'll just duplicate it and make it gray because it's the same frame at the end. And I'll get to the frame right in between, or this one. I think I'll get to this first. This one, there does seem to be a lot of size difference. But let's just play the actual animation itself and see how it is. So it is from frame 18 to frame 26. So right now this is how it is. And what does it? Doesn't look too bad in terms of varying the, what is it? Varying the volume. Yeah, I think I'll follow that properly. Let's see the eyeball. He goes upwards and he falls down. The eye size has changed in this one. On the edges, okay, I haven't drawn the connection. So here, seeing what I did earlier. Uh, Something like this to give that depth quality. I'll get back to the eyes after a while. And see how the rest of the body. Uh, how much of the mouth interior is seen in this? So let's see what's happening with the mouth interior. At the very beginning it's closed, then mouth interior is fully visible. It closes almost and then it opens again. Or it doesn't. Okay, it doesn't. The first you are seeing the interior of lower jaw, then lower jaw closes and we see lower jaw doesn't close yet. Over here we start seeing the upper jaw, upper jaw, upper jaw. So here I can focus more on the showing the upper jaw itself, and lower jaw I can click on it. So that will inform how I approach the drawing itself. Upper jaw is interior. I can show a bit more of 3Dness inside. And screw. I think that mouth metal thickness is a bit too much. It's a bit too distracting. Uh, okay. So looks itself a bit weird. Okay, maybe close it over here and open backward that it's going inwards. I think that's better. I think so. Not bad. And I can draw the thickness. And for the other eye. And that's it. Two drawings are. For the screw, I need to. I don't know why I started drawing the thickness on the bottom, more on the side itself. Uh, Same for here and here. Actually, in the idle cycle, I didn't even give that much thickness. I didn't give thickness at all to the screw. Now I'll draw this frame. I'm just checking for what all orange frames are there in the tie down and cleaning up those frames one by one. So this frame I'll do, and after that I'll do, just mark them and keep. This one I'm not so sure whether it's still conserving the scale, I mean the volume. I'll just see. Compared to this, wow, I was actually thinking it should be shorter, but it's actually be longer. Hmm, that's an interesting find. The eyeball size are also not that bad. Actually, go ahead with this. That was better than expected. The screw, the mouth. Okay, over here it will be the lower jaw. I mean, the lower jaw's interior will be seen. So I will work accordingly. Eyeballs, second eyeball. Today I was actually working more on other things. There was splash, water splash animation was there, whose size also had to be corrected with the new ratio, and different elements had to stick together in a different way during the gameplay itself. Figuring those things out took a lot of time, and I'm still not sure whether it will work or not. Once it's put in game and lined up accordingly, then I'll get to see. I hope it works because too tiresome to get that running. Like last few days, I was working on that itself, trying to see is this not working out. I get it done. But otherwise, without that itself, the splash animation so far has been working fine in game. But I changed around the scale, timing, and some more scale timing placements or has been changed again. So lots of re-measuring stuff have to be done. Okay, this frame also is done. This frame. Let's see where the eyeballs are. Yeah, this looks fine. Uh, Over here now the mouth is completely closed, I guess. Let's see. Here the mouth, upper half, upper jaw, and now I guess it is closed. 1, 2, 3 frames of close and open again. 1, 2, 3 lower jaw, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4 lower jaw, 1, 2, 2 upper jaw, 4, 2, 3. Okay. Uh, this eyebrow also I can push a bit further. But the thing with this work is I wanted to keep it as subtle as possible because this is for when you're trying to move very low distances. So I didn't want too much variation. It is still not very subtle animation, but this much would be fine. Not to go overboard with it. This particular. Mm, and he has just landed, so I think there's some more code over there. He has landed in this frame itself. We get shut his mouth over there. And thickness, as usual. Screw. And what is over here? The first jumping boost. This one I did feel like the volume is a lot higher. But in motion it was working properly, and I think the volume might not be that much of a difference. It's just looking weird. Upper jaw, just draw the eyes first. Eyeballs, jaw, upper jaw. This face does look like a turtle though. Not a very teenage mutant one, but yet a turtle. And the lower jaw comes in. And the connection area. and the other end of Persia. That area doesn't need to have the thickness. That's fine. And now just the eyeball area is left. Eyeball extension and over here. Now I'll get to the yellow frame, so it's actually halfway done now. Wow. Scaling of that layer did help. Mm, There is eyeball. I think over here the eyeballs are floating a bit. Or is it here? Let's see. Going up. Not really floating over here. Mm, This eye is floating a bit. The eye on the back isn't, and in the next floating frame, the eye on the back is going to. And here's the torso. Uh, Screw and the lower jaw. So here he's just leaving the ground. So that's like a tip toe end. There's the other eye. And thickness. Let's see how the thickness is here. Mm, Now that I look at this, area doesn't need that much. And this area can actually have. maybe. Yeah. No, the other one was better. Mm, here maybe a bit more thickness. I don't know. Something does feel a bit off. Maybe not too much thickness at this stage. Mm, I think that's fine. I think it's okay. Not very sure about it. I'll do this and I'll try to see what works over here, what doesn't. Over here it did seem to work. I think it is that inner edge thing itself, that it doesn't really need that much thickness. But when I do that, it's starting to look like a mouth is pretty. Oh, is it because over here it's not going up at all? Piyush Jain is telling that. Hello. Hello, Piyush Jain. Hey. Uh, I'm not at all sure about that. Oh, what if I just extend this upwards? That also looks pretty bad. I'll leave it at this one. So this frame is done, this frame is done. Okay, this frame pulls back the eye a lot suddenly. So I'll just pull it downwards. And next frame. Uh, this frame, I think, is the one in which the eyeball is floating. And proportion wise, I think it is fine. There will be this eyeball in the front. Uh, and this eyeball in the back. Let's see how where the end points of this is. Okay, it's going downwards and downwards in the next few frames. I guess I will inch it a bit downwards, and this one too, and the robot is looking downwards. I don't think this frame I should bring out the eyeball thing way behind. That does seem excessive compared to how it is in the other frame. That much is fine. The eyeball behind will also have this much. There will be the upper jaw which is falling downwards, and only the lower jaw's interior will be visible over here. So leave that as it is, and this one I can give some thickness. Screw. And lower jaw. Lower jaw I can circle it out, curve it out a bit more since it's on its way downwards. And the interior, I'll follow that same principle in this. The thickness comes out over there, most prominent at the edge of the lips, and then goes back. Is it too thick? Perhaps. That much thickness is more than enough. And then it goes down, and you have reached the second last frame to draw. Saving it for good measure. The volume does seem okay. The eyeballs are coming downwards at this frame. I think in the next frame it would have okay, just reaches there. Yeah, this is fine. So we'll draw the upper jaw first. Upper jaw. This is so now suddenly the upper jaw is visible. Okay, not suddenly. The upper jaw is continuously visible. There is the eyeball. And the eyeball is taking its way downwards. Piyush Jain is asking, slightly unrelated, can you please tell us about the state of animation industry in India or abroad for someone who is about to graduate in the next 2 years? Maybe in another video. And Aditya Sonwani asks, how did you get in NID? A state of and Piyush first, state of animation industry in India. Animation industry as such, there are lots of different things happening, so I am not sure what sort of industry you would like to get in, because you told that you are going to graduate in the next 2 years. So people after graduating does get into completely different stuff, which can also be labeled as animation, but maybe not animation industry as such. Like if you're learning VFX and all, there are many VFX companies in India. If you're doing 2D sort of animations, the industry as such, on the whole, I would tell that it's more related to ads and stuff. and because of Corona, actually, way more animated ads and music videos and stuff are coming out. So it's a good time to be an animator. People are actually uh, feeling the need for animation now uh, because of Corona, I guess. But that is there, and industry as such. If you are into freelancing, if this sort of works would be there. If you are going for a job, there is UI UX things also in which there are animation stuff involved. So many people do get into those. And now what I'm doing with game is also animation application in game making. So you could call it gaming industry, whatever, but it's also using the animation medium. So it depends on where you draw the boundary line of where the animation industry is. It would depend on your interests also. Please tell what state of animation industry abroad, India or abroad, for someone who's about to graduate. The main difference in India and abroad would be work timings. I would say, like over there, in some countries, it actually changes. Like in Japan and all, they do have very exhaustive work hours, but in places like Australia and all, there might be very limited work hours and such. So and I don't know how easy or hard it is. I think it's quite hard to get. I haven't applied in tried anywhere, but the procedure itself for Indians, I guess, is quite hard. How did you get in NID? Is asking. There is this entrance exam is there, so that happens every year. I don't know at what time. So there, like if you say check out in NID's website, there might be the dates of entrance exams. So I gave that, and but it was quite chill only. Like it was mostly generalish design knowledge. Overall, if you are aware of what's happening around the world, reading news and stuff also. And back then there was some drawing exercises and studio tests and stuff were there in which you'd have to uh, make something out of materials. There was interview. It's a long enough process, but it's fun also. It's uh, just it's not mainly about learning a particular thing and going. It's more of a general idea of what sort of thinking are you into. Like if a problem comes up, you can think of different solutions for the same problem. I think the last frame is done. Yeah, I think the last frame is done. Let's play it and see how it looks. I think this one frame might look a bit weird. No, it doesn't. This one place I can close the gap. How did you make the film which got selected for cartoons? Underground Aditi is asking, and Piyush is saying NIT's exam is called DAT. I think so. Design aptitude test. Thanks, Shane. Yes, you're welcome. Aditi is good. Test. How did you make the film which got selected for Cartoons Underground? You're talking about Watchmaker at Times End. So that film, how was it made? It was made just like how I'm making these animations itself. So if you're asking about softwares, it is Krita and Blender mainly. And if you're asking about the story and such, that got developed over a longer time. It was quite a long process to get it done. Maybe if I'm making another movie or something, I think I'll try to figure out a shorter process. Like for this game also, I'm trying to figure out a quicker deadline thing itself so that the game gets completed on time and I'm not just sitting behind this for a long enough time. Oh, the idea behind it. The idea behind is mainly, I don't know if you have seen the movie or not, but in the movie, it's this character who's trying to make a watch when day and night and all are changing. Everything is uncertain. Uh, so for that, we had one 3D course was there. And till then, I hadn't really done too much of 3D. And we had to make some stories for that course. And I thought I wanted some story which utilizes 3D medium properly. And for me, till then, I had been doing 2D frame by frame drawing animations like I'm doing right now itself. And just color these. So when they told to make up stories, I thought of something related to 3D itself. And I thought lighting is easy enough to do in 3D. And I based my whole story around it. Like if light keeps on changing, what happens to life of people? So then I started thinking my way backwards. If light is keeping on changing, why is light keeping on changing? So I had an image in my head of sun and moon keeping on changing continuously. So then I thought if sun and moon is changing, that means the earth is rotating in a weird fashion. And if earth is rotating in a weird fashion, how did it get there? I thought maybe if meteors fall. So like that I work my way backwards, and if meteor is falling and people's lives are like this, then but how would people keep track of time? And then came up the story of a watchmaker trying to make a watch during that time. And then lots of other different stories also related to what can happen in that universe was written down. And I would look at those stories one by one and see this might work together, this might not work together. And I would keep mixing and matching so many different elements. And lots of thing was just writing lots of stories and deleting lots of stories. But then this thing came out. It was a very long process to get there. It was fun. The basic feeling is that just erase the edges and extra stuff. The work looks amazing. So, hmm. The work was a later added addition. In the beginning, this guy was only running all the time. So then it was looking weird because when we even slightly try to go left or right, he suddenly starts running. So then I thought you can add one more step in which for slower workings thing can be done. So then this got added. It looks nice now that it's just two different animations. I was there for its shirts. Oh, nice, nice, nice. It was actually a very nice scene. Like people were actually there very much on time. And, wow, it has actually turned up on time. So at Srishti, you're learning animation itself. Okay. Or is it VC and ID? Okay, this is the same as this film, so I'll just copy this over here. Hmm, now I can start coloring. So whatever, okay, I'll just keep this blue, and whichever I finish, I'll change into yellow. So now I can start coloring. As if we were there 3 hours prior to screening. Yeah, that's what it is. So we didn't know this when we went there. We knew screening was going to happen, but then we reached the hall. It was already packed. We were like, what? All these guys. Digital media arts. Okay, so I think that is like visual communication all round thing. And I'll get to coloring this. I'll turn on the kind of guidelines and start color. So this I'm using the same process itself of uh, figuring out from where to where the color is going to be. And again, this won't be as hard as idle animation because here also the character is moving around here and there. I can add the eyeball colors. Oh, increase the line thickness again. That's better. Uh, there will be shadow. Lighting actually turned out to be much easier than I expected. I was actually thinking it would be a very complicated process, especially after Pota Tiger. It was a very long process. Got to go. Good talking with you and looking at the progress with the work. I think someday soon your channel subscribe. Thanks. Goodbye. Yeah, right now I haven't been active in YouTube at all for a long time. Recently only I started. I thought this is something I'm doing every day anyway, so thought I would do some live streams for is interested can join in, but this will be there. And since it's quite long, uh, I'm not thinking like fixed timing or anything. And eventually I might get more of a schedule. Right now I'm just figuring my way out. Like I hadn't known much about live streaming and stuff till recently, so slowly figuring out what are good practices. Now, uh, there is this light here, an extra brightness, and can put some extra darkness over here. Will definitely join whenever I can. Yeah, sure. Good to see you here. Goodbye. You're going to have, must be going to have dinner, or the timings are all either other right now. Luckily, I have dinner already ready. Can go eat whenever. Hmm. Create some differences between the shades over here, and I think a little bit of. I think I put a little bit of shade near the middle. No, let's see how this compares to this. E, yeah, yes, yeah, I think it's fine. So that means one frame is done. Uh, that I can mark as yellow. This one I'll mark as gray because it's a repeat. Otherwise, I'll just keep marking the other things yellow. So brown, brown for work in progress. I try to work a bit more zoomed out itself so that I'm not too caught up in the details and forget the overall picture. The leg for here, it should actually be vertical itself. Maybe it's vertical might look stupid, but I'll see. But yeah, I guess I just go slightly not vertical. Mm, and interiors will be filled. Eyeball underneath will be shaded, and so will this. And there will be a bit of light over here, bit of light around here, some of the highlight color, the eyes. Oh, I just realized this guy doesn't have teeth during the walk cycle. He has teeth during the run cycle, bro. Teeth is something that just keeps popping in and out whenever required. During the wall slide also there is teeth, and some areas don't have. We try to keep this character design itself as flexible as possible also. Like only whatever is required is there on screen at any given time. Like whenever the hands are not required, the hands just go away. Whenever the teeth is not required, it goes away. This is basically one of the ways in which I went about designing this character. That since this is a story about emotions itself, I would put the whole focus on the face to show the emotions, and finally it ended up being just a. But even with just a face, you can get uh, lots of excuses for animating it. So that is one fun part, to find those areas out. Okay, let's see how does this compare with it. Yes, they can add some more highlight areas. Yeah, done. Well, this one I'll do next. Uh, light, light from the edge, and base color. Uh, there will be some more shaded areas, some more highlighted areas. And this thing I can make it a bit catchy, bit graphic. Uh, highlight colors, and for the screw, and now the base shadow. Uh, screw shadow, uh, darkness, some more darkness, and then conclusion, some extra darkness for no reason at the other end. Uh, screw shadow and eyeball shadow. Eyeball shadow. I think it went too much into the eye. Shadow. Let's see how it looks. Okay, some light extra. I had forgotten last time. Light extra there just to make it stand out more prominently as a metal piece. And I went too much into the shadow area. Let's see. Yeah, I think this is fine. Let's compare it with this. Yeah, I can add a bit more of darkness area in this. Actually, I haven't added that much darkness in this area. I started adding too much darkness. So leave it as it is and move on to this one. Just choosing as usual frames that have some gaps between them. Light. Right now, I'm not thinking about the volume as much, just the overall composition of lights as we have done over here for consistency. And because it's going to go through so many different types of animation while playing, like from idle position, it would go to running, then jumping, then crying water. So it should not look, the shading should not look too abruptly different suddenly. So here I'll leave it as such for now. Just smoothen some things out. And here it's not at all smooth. And I can highlight this area. I can put the highlight colors. Then on the screw. Then I'll put the base colors for wherever the shadow falls. Mm, Spread out the light a bit more. Uh, the darkness falling over here, more shaded areas, and even more darkness. And darkness a little bit on top, little bit of eyeball interaction, and shade falling onto the robot. The interior of the mouth will also be dark. And I can put some highlights over the areas, not highlights, lights over the areas which are exposed. And some more dark areas where it's joining over here, more dark areas over here. Actually over there it didn't look that good, maybe near the bottom. And shadow falling on the metal. And what else? Light spreading across the metal sheets. And at the edge of this metal sheet. Let's see. It's fine. Yeah, I think so. So this is done, and now there are only few more frames left. Actually, almost halfway there. But I'm now not really bothered with the shading aspect of it. It's going quite smooth. Mm, and let the blue stand out a bit more. Transition a bit smoother. And then just Mark out the areas where shadows are falling, shadows of eyes, and add the highlighted colors. And also on the screw. And now for the dark shades. I did add light over here as is the custom. Now for the shades. Some more shade over here. Let's see these other ones, how far ahead. They can put some more shade near the borders. Just do that for all these frames. This I'm hearing whether it might stand out a bit. Uh, just making sure right underneath the lines, the eyeball is not perfectly bright highlight color. And soften it a bit with the shadow. And over here, and shadow between the eyes of one eye falling on the other. And shadow falling onto the, and shadow of the upper lip, upper jaw, falling onto the lower jaw. That looks like two very strict outlines, so I'll just smoothen it out a bit. I actually didn't like it a lot. Let's see. Just trying to smoothen it a bit instead of making it a very straight line. I think that's better. Not very convinced though, but I'll get back there later. There is the shadow of the screw, and there will be the shadow over here, and in the fusion, there will be a little bit of shadow near the end, and I can just smoothen out these colors a bit more. And put the light out also a bit more prominently. The middle area will have suddenly a bit more highlight, and so will the upper lip area. I think that's it. See how it compares to frame. Yeah, not bad. Mark this done, and now we go to all of the alternate frames because that's all that's left. Half of the frames are done. 1, 2, 3, 4 frames remaining. have this, and I'll smoothen its way to the edge, and a little bit more highlight near the end. Smoothening things out. And shadow, I actually put the base color inside first so that I can gradient my way into a shadow. And build up. Where is the highlight? Highlight the eyes and the screw, and I'll put some of the base color for the shadowish area, shadowy area. Over here also there must be some shadow, and I bring back some highlight over here. Not highlight, light over here. More light in these areas. And shade. Completely shaded over here. Gradually bring it down to the base color. Yeah, I think that's fine. And now for shadows, there will be shadow of the eye from the top, the bottom, and within the eyes. Give this part a bit more, and there is the shade of screw, shade of upper jaw, lower jaw, and that was a bit too much. Is it? And a little bit here, maybe a little here. Blur my way, and light can be brought back more strongly at an edge and at the edge of the metal plates too. There will be light at the edge of the upper plate, and where else? I think that's it. Let's see. Compare it to the frames before and after. Yeah, I can bring the heel a bit towards here and the white more strongly contrasted. That it makes sense for the next frame also. Let's see. That is cool. Yeah. So that frame is done. Turn is done. And next one, two, three. Only three more frames. So we have the light, light from the other end, there is the base color, uh, and base color where the light doesn't fall directly under the eyes, under the sheet, between the jaws. And now for the highlight color, highlight on the eyes and on the scoop. Uh, there is the eyeball color, the shade, I was using the wrong color. Fine. Not amazed. Just put it up in green again and then shade it again. Shade, uh, shade of eyeballs on each other, shade at the edges, shade below the eyeball, and shade in the mouth, and shade under the screw, under the metal sheet, and at the edge. There's also these extra highlights here and top. Now I can actually bring the white colors more strongly outwards. Not white color, the light itself more strongly outwards. So the light is here. Uh, Upper metal sheet light is here. And what else? Oh, that's it. I think so. Hmm, and bring the light towards here a bit. And that is Yeah. So that's also done. Two more frames to go. Hmm. Same process. Light animation is just lots of repeat things. So I try my best to uh, not strain myself with very repeatish process. That's whenever I animate, I try to create as much variety as possible because it will keep me also entertained while animating. Uh, the game also I try to do that, but there's a extent to which I should be making every move completely drastically different because otherwise while playing it might feel very inconsistent because it's not moving just from one position to the next, it's moving from one position to, it's not moving from A to B, it's moving from A to B, then to D, then to back to D in G. So any animation can play one after the other. So you have to make sure everything does move smoothly enough from one place to the other. And it's not like certain places movements are fine, the transitions are okay, and in certain places the transition is too abrupt. I don't want to make transition states for every single thing. Like most things should be working properly. Ah shit. I have to bring this down a bit. Value wise. Okay, there is darkness now. There is darkness above the eyes, the edges, between the eyes, below the eyes, and interior of the mouth, and below the two, and below the upper middle sheet, and at the edge. Trying to see whether if I put light at these edges. Look that way, I'll keep it for now because the light is actually falling from above, so that area technically shouldn't be highlighted, but brings the picture together better, doesn't disrupt the flow. It's fine. Some areas needs to be darkened again. Mm, yeah, one last frame. Same process. And The darkness falling over here. Hmm. Here I'm already feeling like it might look weird. Uh, Not that weird. A bit of highlight over here. Let's transitions a bit more smoothly over here. Let's now for the highlights, for the eyes, for the blue base color showing through, and dark darkness on top of the eyes. Below the eyes, and below the screw, and then the curtain over here, and a little bit at the let's see how it carries. Uh, and spread the light bit more over here, the top edge. The bottom it's a bit hard. Yeah, not bad. Let's play it around and see it. Save it to be safe. Uh, play. Yeah, it looks fine. Now with the outlines. Yeah, so that's it. Uh, Thank you for having this stream. Whoever was here, and end of session actually got over faster than the earlier ones. Let's see, 30, 7:30, 8:30 is 1.5 hours. 1 hour 40 minutes, not bad compared to the previous 2.5 hours. I think so. So goodbye. See you whenever I make the next stream.